think when we started this shoot, it was bright and sunny outside. Now it's pouring. Welcome to New York.
Looks good. Looks good, Caesar. With this, we're gonna point and shoot.
News anchor.
Do I? Do I look like a news anchor? I feel like I'd be a good news anchor. Welcome back. We could tell this story, right? It's not controversial. It's a little controversial, but it's okay. It's time to tell this story. The date is November 2016. Everybody knows that day. The day that Donald Trump was elected president. That's a day that actually will live in infamy for me because it had quite an impact on the next several years of my career. And here's how. Let's rewind just a little bit. Dating back to about 2012 when I entered the business, the first few years, as most real estate agents know, are spent absolutely grinding. You're going through rentals, you're in walk-ups nonstop, left and right, you're sweating in the summer. It never stops, but the grind is what keeps us going and going and going because the result and the satisfaction at the end of it is what propels us forward and keeps us coming back for more. Now, by around 2015, I started to get some great sales listings under my belt and I started to really develop my reputation as a strong real estate marketer. Now, leading into 2016, in the midst of the hottest presidential election in history, I happened to get myself a listing at Trump Tower. Trump Tower is located at 721 Fifth Avenue, and for those of you who don't know, at the time that Donald Trump was elected president, this was still the building that he lived in and worked in every single day. Now, the listing was on the market for a couple of months. Fast forward to November 2016, and Donald Trump is officially elected president, and in that moment, I saw a unique marketing opportunity which actually became a pivotal moment that shaped the rest of my career. And I got in a lot of trouble. Oh no. Damn it. I can't believe I left that thing over there the whole time. Ridiculous. I'm an amateur. Amateur, I tell you. Now, one of the really commonly used platforms for real estate agents in New York City who want to get the information out there about their listings is called Broker Loop. Broker Loop is a system that generates emails that's sent to the entire brokerage community throughout Manhattan, as well as some other states. And what that does is that just creates awareness industry-wide about whatever listings you represent. Now, I put together a Broker Loop for the listing I had at Trump Tower, and the subject line read, "Are Fifth Avenue buyers looking for Secret Service protection?" Why did I make that the subject? Because in that moment, Trump Tower became the most secure building in Manhattan. Now, the moment that Donald Trump was elected president, the entire security infrastructure of that building completely transformed. 56th Street between Madison and 5th was completely closed and barricaded. I think for a time there was dump trucks surrounding the entire building. Getting in and out to do showings required going through security, passing through Secret Service before even getting to the front door. Layers and layers of security. This was very, very clearly the safest place to be anywhere in Manhattan at that moment in time. I saw it as a quirky, unique something that added a little bit of salt and pepper to my marketing campaign. Fast forward about 6 weeks, we still had the listing on the market, and while traffic certainly picked up, considering all the buzz in the air about the fact that 721 Fifth Avenue was now the presidential residence, we still had not gotten the unit sold. And then one December early afternoon, I was sitting down to have lunch, actually by myself at the time, and I got a phone call from a reporter at Politico. I answer the phone. "Hi, is this Ariel Sassoon?" "Yes, it is." "Hi, I'm calling from Politico. I would like to know if you wish to comment on the story I'm going to run about you touting Secret Service as the new amenity of Trump Tower." No comment. "Are you sure? I'm going to run this story in an hour." No comment. "Okay, thank you. Goodbye." I think we're in a little bit of trouble. Now, on my ride from downtown to my office, the story broke. It was scathing. They ripped us apart. But here's where it gets fun. Every publication in the country picked this story up, that brokers in New York City were touting 721 Fifth Avenue as the most secure building in New York City with Secret Service protection included. Just happens to be true. Now, here's where we made the mistake. Us being young, a little overly confident in our approach, we thought that would be a great time to post a video to our Instagram page of our listing at Trump Tower And what we did in the caption was we thanked every single publication for writing about us. I think at the time when you Googled Secret Service amenity, thousands and thousands of titles would come up. We thought it was great. Now at the time I worked for Douglas Elliman and they were pissed. It was not a good situation. Worst of all, the chairman of our company, Howard Lorber, was not a happy man. The next morning I came into the office bright and early, I think it was before 8 a.m. The manager came in shortly after me and he says to me, Howard is not happy, he wants both of you out. I've got to release you. Ugh. This was a deflating moment. This was tough. So I went into my manager's office and I said to him, please, get us a meeting with Howard. We created a huge wave here, let us make it right. And he agreed and he supported us and he called Howard and he got us that meeting for that day, that afternoon. I think it was around 6 p.m. We sit down and it's dead silent. Now mind you, the last time I was in this office, Howard was offering me a job. Howard comes over from his desk and he says, I don't know if you boys are stupid or you just don't care. And of course, the apologies began. We're sorry, Howard, there was no intention to create such a negative impact. Goal was just to do a little bit of creative marketing in order to create a little bit of extra attention for this listing. I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're here to sell properties and to deliver for our clients. Now, after our first round of apologies, Howard paused and he looked at both of us and he said, you know the phone call that I got today? I got a phone call from the president-elect, from Donald Trump. And I have never heard him scream as loud as he did on that phone call. And we were like, oh, I've got Donald Trump calling me in the middle of his cabinet meetings to talk about you? Then came the second round of apologies. Do you know what I'm gonna have to do to make this right? Those were good ones. We really begged for our life on those. Anyways, after many rounds of profusely apologizing to salvage the situation and make this right, Howard looks at us and he says, listen, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you guys yet, but get out of here, we'll figure this out. Okay. We left the office, we looked at our managers and said, okay, what should we do now? And he said, listen, go back to work, put your heads down, and I think you'll be okay. Okay, go back to work, put our heads down. Okay. We didn't put our heads down. In fact, that year was probably the biggest year of both of our careers because it propelled us to a new level.
100 grams.
Now, 2017 was the year that I started vlogging. That year unlocked a completely new approach that we took to this business, where everything would be centered around premier marketing, quality marketing that captured the attention of the audience and connected to it. There were a lot of really great vloggers at the time, but very few, if any, people were making content like this in real estate. And in that moment, I decided to go all in. I made one vlog a week for 52 weeks. And that year, every single month, our business grew exponentially. Now, at the end of the year, we had penciled about 70 million in sales volume. And then week 52 came, the last week of the year, the last vlog of the year, the season finale. It's gotta be a strong one. I put in a call to Howard Lorber's office. I actually was able to get him on the phone and I said, Howard, it's been about a year since our incident with the press release. We would love to come to your office and have a meeting with you, and if you don't mind, I would love to bring my camera. Now, we showed up to the office that day in very high spirits, and we sit down on the couch and Howard sits down next to us in the exact spot when he was tearing us apart, and he looks at us both and he says, probation's over, boys. This story was entertaining and useful to some of you, and it shows that even in your lowest moments, there is an opportunity for redemption, and it's usually in those moments that you know you're onto something good. Oof, that's it for today's story. Well, we'll see you on the next one. There's gonna be more of these. Right, Caesar?
Sure.
Yeah, Caesar's in. All right. Cool.